Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we actually, surprisingly, got some pretty solid news from Call of Duty. We've got a few new updates and then something that I don't think many people actually realized existed. I didn't even know the details of this were fully updated as of today. But yeah, a couple of new updates have gone out that do reveal some pretty exciting things. So first up here, we've got to start off with a brand new anti-cheat update that's gone out for Warzone and Black Ops 6, Call of Duty in general, really. Call of Duty updates posted this thread last night in the middle of the Nuggets getting absolutely crushed, saying, hey, new update for Black Ops 6 and Warzone, a new message from Team Ricochet. Earlier this week, we detected a cheat vendor that was offline was attempting to return. Today, we shut them down, again, I kind of like the shade there, by issuing a large-scale ban wave against their customers. We've shut down over 20 cheat makers since Black Ops 6 launched, and we are not slowing down. We will continue to pursue those who work to compromise the integrity of Call of Duty. Now, you might look at this and say, well, that's kind of the same old anti-cheat spiel that we get every time they do this, right? Yes, to a certain extent. They basically always say, hey, we've shut down another cheat provider. We're continuing to do this. We're continuing to do that. I will say, for the first chunk of Season 3, it definitely felt like Ricochet was doing the best it's done in quite some time, which isn't saying much still because it's still largely underwhelming, but it's better than what it was for a long time before that. But then obviously, as I talked about earlier on this week, it seemed like the uptick in cheaters has really risen in the past, 5 to 10 days or so. And that seemed to be like the general consensus as well. First 10-15 days of the season, relatively cheater free, much lower numbers of cheaters being found in games. Then the past 5 or 10 days, whole lot more issues, and the reason for that presumably was because of engine owning. If you're unfamiliar, they are basically like the biggest cheat provider for Call of Duty. The biggest losers as well, of course. And with this, they basically said, hey, our cheats are updated. We've bypassed Ricochet a few days back, and then right after that happened, we saw this huge uptick in cheaters in the game. And then people started to notice, hey, wait a second. It says that now engine owning is detected and their cheats for Black Ops 6 and Warzone are no longer purchasable. They're no longer active because they're not working. And then lo and behold, a few hours later, Call of Duty updates post this. So what they've done again is basically wait for engine owning to think that they're back online to say, hey, we're back, you guys can cheat again, and then shut them down right away, which I won't lie, I'm kind of impressed by. Seems like for a while now, several of these cheat providers, like for instance engine owning, who they have already sued and won the lawsuit against, but unfortunately there's a million legal loopholes that these losers are going to jump through to try and stay active for any chance, any opportunity at a dime they can. So they move locations, they move their domain and everything to like Russia or something, and then they can sort of avoid some of the legality stuff behind it and still operate. Hopefully Call of Duty can continue to pursue them in that matter. I think that would be huge. But the fact that now they are essentially confident enough to say, hey, wait till you jump online with your cheats and see what happens and shut them down right as they say they're back to working is solid. I think that's fantastic news, and hopefully that bodes well for the future as well. But that's not the only exciting news that we ended up getting today. Now, as we do continue on with a few other updates and things to look out for that are pretty solid as well, quick reminder, if you are new to the channel, you want to guarantee that each and every single day you are in the know for all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. There's like 10,000 new viewers watching the videos every single day according to my YouTube analytics, which is crazy to think about. So if you're brand new here, I'd love to have you join us on the road to 1 million. And if you enjoy this video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. So next up here, we have some new gameplay updates finally being recognized and acknowledged. I actually forwarded this info over to my contacts at COD days ago, and it's really nice to see that they have now officially acknowledged it, because up until this point, it was radio silent. Curiously enough, though, it's not the usual COD updates post or Treyarch post or whatever. It's actually Activision support coming through this time and talking about it, which means that this issue is probably a much larger scale, and they really wanted to get attention on it, saying, for Warzone, we are now actively investigating reports of performance issues like stuttering, hitching, etc. with specific PC hardware configurations after the launch of Season 3. To help with the investigation, please follow the steps to share your PC crash log files in this article. What this is referencing is the AMD, particularly the 7000 series issues, where those cards basically just don't work on Warzone right now. The game is basically unplayable because of the stuttering and the hitching issues. Now, there are other problems going on with various different drivers. You might have, you know, a 3090, a 2080, whatever the case is, an NVIDIA card, and still be running into issues. It does seem like because they aren't super specific and they say, hey, we're aware of issues with just the AMD cards or just the 7000 series, there might be a few setups that are a bit wonky right now that they're trying to gather information on, but this is them finally acknowledging, hey, yes, we're aware of this issue and it's going to be updated. And I went through and actually checked out this support link, you know, looking into the, hey, share your stuff to see if there's you can help out with the investigation. And the page that it takes us to actually details a lot of other things they're looking into that just aren't recognized elsewhere. So on the current Warzone page, Activision has their own known issues tracking page, which is essentially just the Trello board, which we've looked at numerous times, right? But this is different. Our current Warzone Trello board hasn't been updated in a little bit here, not since, you know, a few days back where they ended up shifting up some things on, like, on the 21st to mark them as resolved and to put a fix scheduled for a loadout issue. But we've covered a lot of what's on this, and what we're gonna see on the Activision tracking page includes much more detail. So obviously the first one is their biggest one right now, issues on PC with lag, hitching, rubber banding, stuttering, things of that nature. They want you to go through and actually double click your crash log generator and send them a file here so that they can investigate even further. So if you have those specific issues, you want to help with the investigation, you have an AMD 7000 series card or whatever the case is, good news there that you can actually help out with this and ideally get it fixed faster. And also great news that they're just investigating it. But they also have several other things listed here, right? So switching to a secondary weapon gives you a pistol instead of your loadout's secondary weapon. So there's an issue with that for some PC players that they're investigating that hasn't fully been detailed on the Trello. I can't equip the Dragon's Breath ammo. That's because it's been disabled for all Modern Warfare 12 gauge shotguns. We talked about that. That was a COD updates post the other day when they disabled it initially for the MX Guardian, then just said, well, actually, let's just do it for all of them just to be safe. So they are going to reintroduce that once it's balanced some in a future updates. They talk about how your COD point balance can show as 0. This has been an ongoing issue for years now in COD. They say a visual error sometimes causes players to see their COD point balance at 0. In the meantime, try restarting your game for it to display correctly. That usually always fixes it for me, is just simply rebooting once or twice, then that balance is back and accurate. But again, something that really has never been recognized on the Trello or officially anywhere else, that just showed up here on this page that we didn't really know existed, honestly. One of my loadouts changed. What a way to just phrase that. There is that issue that's causing weapons to reset to default, and that's under investigation. We've seen that one on the Trello there. I can't use the bunker buster in Resurgence or Plunder. It's been disabled, though they work on a full fix for this, and obviously it's going to be coming to Battle Royale, presumably with Season 3 Reloaded here in the near future as well, so we can expect an update there. Can't equip the Borealis camo. An issue preventing players from equipping Borealis camo on Modern Warfare 3 guns within Warzone is under investigation. This essentially applies to all of the mastery camos from Modern Warfare 3, whether it's Orion, Borealis. There's a bunch of issues there where you just can't use those even if you have them unlocked in game. So nice that that's also been recognized. They've seen a lot of comments, a lot of questions about that, and really haven't been able to give you much information because they haven't ever said anything about it until we find this page. The Abyssal Horror calling card is not unlocking. They're tracking that issue. Can't use the Reclaimer 18 because it's currently disabled because of some bugs with some blueprints there. And then on PlayStation, I'm always getting one or more DLC packs are out of date, and they actually give you a rundown for this where you can ideally fix that. It's always a big problem whenever there's a major update and you have to update the various different packs for Multiplayer Pack 1, Warzone Pack, Black Ops 6 General Pack, and then it gets all wonky and screwed up every time there's a major download. So you can go through and sort of adjust that through the troubleshooting here, or see the full-on like guide for it to make sure that doesn't happen going forward. But nice to see that they are tracking even more issues and even more problems than we initially thought because of our info on the Trello here. So hopefully we see a lot of this stuff updated here in the near future, presumably with Season 3 Reloaded. Obviously, as we see any other reveals, announcements, anything in regards to new updates, you guys know I'm gonna keep you updated with all the need to know info, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.